All right. Well, welcome. What's going on? We're live. Okay. I was just listening to
Nice to
Keenan here.
have. How many of you heard that term before? Right? I don't know what's going on lately. I've been hearing it a lot lately. People we're working with, we're doing discoveries, and the CRO or the CEO or the leader of the organization says, "Yeah, we have a nice to have product. Our customers love our product. They think it's really cool.
What's going on?
They're interested. We do a
We're
demo."
we're going to start in just a minute. Some people are just dropping in, so thanks for joining. And let's just wait a minute here so folks can join. And in the meantime, let's hear what Keenan has to say. Yo, bring it up, Keenan.
And then we can't get them to buy. Or it takes a long time to buy, and then they buy. After 6-8 months, whatever, the first year, they don't renew, they don't buy again, they just don't do it, and they're gone with really high churn rate. It's just because it's a nice to have. So we're trying to figure out how to create urgency. We're trying to figure out how to not make it nice to have. It's not that the product is nice to have, it's your sales team sucks. That's what the bottom line is. There's no such thing as a nice to have product. That is a farce. This concept that some products are nice to have and other products are critical is a joke. The perception of the people who think they have a nice to have product don't understand their buyer. They don't understand the problems their buyers have. They don't understand the impact that the problems their buyers have is having on their organization, right? So if you don't understand the problems and impacts and root causes of your buyers for the problems you fix, it's going to be perceived as a nice to have.
Yeah, that's so good. So welcome here. We're going to get started. Welcome. We could do a whole session just scrolling through LinkedIn and listening to music, but we're not going to do that today. We are going to talk about the 5-part sales and marketing formula innovative CEOs use to conquer their category and double their sales. Welcome, Thomas. Welcome, Linda. And others are joining. Let me put this music on hold here. Where's my music? There it is. All right. So first of all, in the chat here, if you can see me and hear me, and you heard the music, type in "I hear you," or "I see you," or the number 1, or just something. Let me know that you are here. Okay, awesome. Thomas, welcome. I am you, and you are me, as we are all together here in the metaverse. This is the metaverse. Is it not? I mean, prove me wrong. Isn't this the metaverse? We're in different places physically, but we're all here together at the same time, or maybe not. Maybe there's like replay people here. So that is a definition of a metaverse, if I've ever heard one. Anyway, welcome. We're going to get started. I'm so glad you're here because this must be interactive, or I'm just going to fall asleep, or I'm just going to die here in my office because it needs to be interactive. I live for serving you. So I'm really glad that you're here. So we're going to jump right into the 5-part sales and marketing formula innovative CEOs use to conquer their category and double their sales. We are live. And if you're here, type in the comments really what business you are in. That would be great to hear. What business are you in? Also, where are you coming in from? That would be great to hear. All right. So I can promise you that if you are a CEO or innovator for an organization that is $5 to $50 million and wants to really get to the next level, this will probably be the best masterclass you've ever been in, and I'm really excited that you're here. Ron was here, and certainly was that for him. And it really leads us to this question. A lot of CEOs really look at their product and love their product and think their product is so revolutionary and so breakthrough, so awesome. But as we know, it's not really how great your product is. It's really how clear the message is, clear the value is that you're selling. So a lot of CEOs are sort of charmed under their own spell, wishful thinking, but clearly, they are going to fail at that venture. Majority says. All right. So something's really wrong though with my screen. It's like it's too big. So, let's see if I can fix that. I don't know. Maybe it is just too big. If it's too big for me, let me know. But it should be okay. So Thomas, IT and in California. Welcome. All right. Is my screen chopped off or most of it chopped off? We're just going to proceed anyway. All right. So, type in the comments what business you're in. Hello, Scott. Welcome. What business are you in? Where you can get from? This is a live in the metaverse. Through the metaverse because you're in it as well. Prove you wrong. Right? You're wrong. All right. So, what business are you in? Type that in. Linda, Scott, type in the comments what business you're in. To make this really interactive, really easy, really making really excited. This meme I created because I think it's funny, where this reminded me of push in your face market and why this really might get some sales. Yeah, minimize like oh, that's gonna work. You think oh, okay, I don't get it, but anyway, let's move forward here. So, the top of campus, the most big thing there, so you know who and you should know that is because of who the people who are making the thing different. So, yeah, we're gonna get into that. This thing, this webinar will cancel 5 cancel that's so no innovation. Maybe that's think it's innovation. That's it's the digital the role of deal. So that yes, definitely important to understand. I'll see those online next make the category because you have innovation. So if this isn't you, you don't even have to stay. So just bow out. So thank you very much for because this is for you. So this is my promise to you. In the next 45 minutes, we're going to what it takes to make this successful. We're going to talk how to facilitate those available sales. We're going to talk about how to stand out in a very low market. So AI and make but guess what? So much more regarding how to stand out. Even if your customers don't even know that they need your solution, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how to get your prospects to own your proposal, to essentially own your solution. Imagine that your prospects are going to own the thing that you're selling. And if you think about it, that's what they're buying. That's a little hint. All right, we're going to talk about this, about how they can own that and how to attract ideal customers without wasting a ton of money on marketing or hiring a 350K CMO. Really want to show you how to do that. So I'm really psyched to share this to you. For some reason, the screen is not showing the whole thing here. I don't know why, but we're just going to roll with it. But before we begin, does this sound like you? You have read all the books, really great books. about Steve Jobs, about from Seth Godin, This is Marketing, or Gap Selling that we're showing you before, Influence by Robert Cialdini, or Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller. And you love these books, but if you stop and look at what's actually on your homepage today, and what's actually in your sales deck today, and what your team is actually talking about, the messages and the conversations that they're using to sell your innovation, you're like, well, wait a minute, am I really practicing what I know? Then you're in the right place, because we're going to talk about how to simplify all of that. Are you spending money with a graphics gal, website person, a social media person, and PPC person? But what you seem to be missing is a single compelling story that really calls your people to action, calls your people who are already on a journey to take the step and change and work with you. Then you're in the right place. Hello and welcome, Todd, as well. I see you're here. Welcome. Type in the comments, by the way, if you're here listening to me. I just want to check in with you. Do you hear me? Type in the comments 1 if you hear me and see me. Let me just hear a 1, see some 1s in here. All right. Okay, so do you sometimes look at your sales deck and feel literally like embarrassed by what's there because it looks like a math textbook or it looks like a document, and you like think to yourself, well, wait a minute, this is a repeat of stuff we have on our website. So what's the point of this? So if this is you, then you are in the right place. All right. I'm pausing a lot. Thank you for letting me know. And Scott, looks like you're selling to corporate hiring teams. Linda, CEO to FinTech, B2B Series B firms. Perfect. So yeah, thank you for letting me know I'm pausing a lot. There must be some overload in the metaverse here. And but hopefully it's not too bad. But I'm probably pausing at the most awkward positions of my face and mouth. But there you have it. Are you sending out presentations to people and hearing nothing back, or hearing, what I often hear is like people saying, oh, our clients say, just send me the presentation. And when I hear that, I know that that's just a polite way of saying, no, not now, or not, I'm not interested. So presentations, you're not hearing back from, you're in the right place if that's the case. If you're thinking to yourself, we have selling, to corporate hiring teams or to FinTech companies, we're selling such an innovation that if they only knew the value that this thing would have, it would be a no-brainer. But they don't know. They don't see what you see. Then you're in the right place. Are you selling an innovation? And you probably are if you're here. But the question I have for you is, who says who? According to whom? And this should be a leading indicator that you're in the right place, because this needs to be turned around. And when we talk about the 5-step formula. So when you're hiring salespeople or training salespeople, you probably have salespeople that some of them are saying that this is the best thing, or we're the best, or that we're the cheapest. It's the most, you get the most return on your investment. But you've got stories told by your salespeople, but they're telling different things in different places, and there's no single narrative that draws everyone together. You're in the right place. Are you looking at all the market, all your competition out there, and for some reason you see your competition way out there in front for some crazy reason, and they're like this old whatever, and it's the legacy system, whatever legacy, but they're winning deals, and you just can't figure out, like, they don't deserve it. It's just not right. If you look at your website, do you actually see text on there that really makes sense to you, but doesn't make sense to anybody else going to your website? Software platform drives transparent, data-driven decisions. So type in the comments the number 2 if that makes sense to you. I know it doesn't make sense to me, but it sure sounds cool. Like, what the WTF? Creating innovative workflow technologies that drive high reliability. So look, if you have a website where you're using language like this, where it doesn't mean anything to anybody except for you and your team, who's so excited about your innovative product, then you're in the right place, because that has to get turned around. If this is yours, how can our sales messaging be simple? We've got a complicated sales process, a complex product that's sophisticated. Every deal is complicated. Every customer is unique. Unique value proposition has to be customized. Every deployment needs configuration. It's not a cookie cutter. How can our message be simple? You're in the right place. All right. Do you ever get this? I like what you're saying, but we didn't get that at all from your website. So if you got that ever from someone, I can promise you you're in the right place for this masterclass. If you see your pipeline increasing, closed deals are stagnating, you're in the right place. The good news that I have to share with you guys today, and I'm really excited that you're here, is that those are just symptoms. Those are symptoms of a problem that is fixable. And we're going to talk about the real problem. If you've experienced those now in your business, the real problem is you have not made these shifts. These shifts that once you make them, it will impact the recipe and the formula that you're using for your sales, for your marketing. And we're going to talk about that today. But once you make them, you're going to have complete confidence in every dollar you're spending in marketing because you're going to get a return on that. You're going to double your close rate at least, and speeding up the qualifications of folks in your pipeline. Your leadership team will be aligned. Your sales team will be running on all cylinders in the same direction. Your Zoom meetings and presentations will be unforgettable, leaving your prospects talking instead of you. And you're really retap the joy of why you're bringing this innovation in the market in the first place. Like, why are you doing this? It'll rekindle that and energize you and your team. I know it's a big promise. We're going to get to that in this webinar, I promise. Quick about who am I? If you don't know who I am, you haven't connected yet on me on LinkedIn, please do that. I'm the CEO of Pitch Kitchen. We're based here in New York. And I can say that in my career prior to starting Pitch Kitchen, I have sold millions of dollars worth of software, enterprise deals, as they say, that were seven-figure deals, and often took 9 months to do, with selling to 19 different people in large organizations like Apple and Texas Instruments. And I can tell you my story real quick. The sales decks that I got thrown over the fence to me and my team from marketing sucked. They were just like logo slides and how great the product is, and these diagrams that were so sophisticated that nobody can understand them. And they failed to help me and my team have the right conversations. Let me repeat that. They failed to help me and my team have the right conversations. And I realized that to have a really great sales deck, you need to have slides that help you have those conversations. So we built slides that did that. We actually found what conversations need to be had in the deals. And then I started a side hustle building these presentations for other organizations, and was making so much money with that, quit my job, started Pitch Kitchen, and that brings us to today, where we've worked on at least 3,000 sales presentations and pitch decks, and we have seen a pattern of what works and what doesn't work, and I'm going to be sharing with you what that looks like today. And also, we saw how those conversations lend themselves and put themselves on home pages as well. And we've also trained about 500 salespeople using this conversational method, this sales approach to marketing, which is crushing it right now in B2B. So this is a picture, I tell you, it's very sobering when I look at this picture on my screen, and you're probably looking at it too. And I just want to, kudos to you. We all made it. We made it through COVID. As I take a drink of coffee. We all made it. We're here. I took this picture in Times Square, and it was the scariest time. Like, I never seen anything like this. But since this time, I mean, a lot of reboot in my own life, personal life, and business has grown huge. Really grateful for the clients that work with us. But a little bit about me, if you don't know, like, I went through, actually during COVID, a divorce. Those are my children from my first marriage. I went through, basically, I died and was born again and fell in love, and got married, and I had a baby, and there's my baby Henry. And I'm so blessed. So I think coming out of the dark times, I think each of us will probably say there's one amazing thing that's happened through that dark time. And the reason why I talk a little bit about myself is because I think in selling and sales that we've entered a new age as we pass through the COVID crucible of being totally authentic and real with people is really what is needed and what works in selling. Excuse me, I'm just going to open the window a little bit. It is a bit warm in here. All right. So if you're still with me, type in the comments 1 or say I'm with you. All right, because I've got a special offer for the folks who are here today. And so feel free to stay to the end. Please do. I hope you do, because you're going to get something awesome. So the 5-part formula, we're jumping into that right now. And here's part number 1. Part number 1 is you have to lead a rebellion. So I guess what am I talking about? Leading rebellion. So every product or innovation that is in the market requires your customer to change what they're doing. And a lot of customers, you probably realize, don't like to change. Change is hard. It's difficult. In fact, your customers invested a lot of time and energy and focus and people and process and money in doing what they're doing with all the systems and whatever they built. So, if you're selling an innovation, the glory of your solution is not enough to have them change. So a better option is to rebel against the old way, the old approach, the approach that no longer works, the traditional orthodox approach that companies are still using. Most of them are probably still using this older approach, but they're not winning with it. And the next 5 years, if you're still using that approach, you won't even be around any longer. So you need to rebel against the thing that no longer works and be that coach, be that angry coach on the sideline, or that loving coach. Be whatever coach you want, character, calling your people to change, because your real competitor is what? Your real competitor is the reluctance to change and the fear of change. So you got to come out of the gate with a contrarian ideology, because Seth Godin just said this last week. The people who aren't enrolled in the journey are going to ignore you. So let's flip this upside down. The people who are going to pay attention to you are already enrolled in a journey to get to a place, and your innovation, I'm sure you'd agree, is a thing that helps them get there. If that makes sense, type in the comments. Makes sense to me. All right. Makes sense to me. Hopefully it makes sense to me. So Simon Sinek, in order to stand out, you have to know what you stand for. Being polarizing is great for business. Yes, Udi from Gong. It works. So taking this rebellious position works. So you're rebelling against the status quo. So look at what some other organizations do. Like, even their hashtag is that call to the better place, the call to the promised land. Like, Own Your Tomorrow is from Charles Schwab. Trust Your Source is the tagline for the Wall Street Journal. Start with Why, Simon Sinek. Be definitive software. Patience before paper, ReadyWorks. Just Do It, Nike. Find Your Beach, Corona. And of course, the last president of the United States became president with those 4 words: a story, a promise to get to a place where his people wanted to get to, but are not there today. Anyway, I'm not a fan of the previous president, but I'm a huge fan of great marketing when I see it. So over to you. What is your battle cry? What is your call to your people? If you know what that is, type it in the comments. I'd love to see. What is your battle cry, your call to your players on the field who you're coaching, and the players in the field are your customers on the field of their business? What is your call? What are you screaming out to them? You're in an auditorium, perhaps, and you're on the stage. You have 3 words to tell them at the end of your talk. What is your call for them to do? What does your billboard in Times Square say in 3 or 4 words? So you need to get clear on this, because this rebellion speaks to the thing that is really going to have them want to buy and attract to your product or service. Yeah, so chat is working now. I am seeing the chat. Thank you. So feel free to type in your comments and your questions as we get into this. All right. So the promised land. Where is this place that you're taking people to? So Thomas, your go-to team for innovative event tech. All right. So here it is, Thomas. Let me just coach you on this, if you permit me, if you give me permission. That statement, your go-to team for innovative event tech, is a tagline, but it's a tagline about you. All right. It's about you instead of about the kind of event tech that they want to accomplish, the kind of experience that they want to get to, that your product or solution confers advantage to. So go back to the drawing board, think about from their perspective, not about you. All right, what world are you trying to take your people to? So that's just it. Describe that world, a world where what happens, a world where they can do things faster, cheaper, or higher quality. What is that world that you can take them to? So describe that, and that will help in defining what your 3 or 4 word message is. Because I think here, if you believe you're selling an innovation, but you're not leading a rebellion against the change that your innovation requires, you're really just a follower in a sideshow. And there's so much sideshows out there. You're not cutting through the noise. So real quick, Patricia, CEO of Behavior Science Tech, had a new product, new board, massive goals, struggled to differentiate with competition, failing to book new conversations, missing sales targets, frustrated with performance. And after she used this approach, among the 4 shifts as well, 4 other shifts as well, which we're going to get to, began to see so much more business coming in. In fact, she shared this with me. I thought I'd like to share with you this morning. I created our first post on LinkedIn using the new messaging, and within minutes was booked by a CEO of a major ABA organization. This was amazing. I got goosebumps when I saw this, because this works. When you change the story, and the rebellion that you're creating is not about just how great your product is, but is about making the change and the leap to approach it in a new way, in a better way, and what they need to stop doing. That works so much better. All right, so the 5-part formula, if this makes sense so far, type in the comments, makes sense. And by the way, if I'm frozen, you don't need to see me. My voice is made for radio anyway, so you don't need to see me. But if this makes sense, type in the comments, makes sense. And then we'll continue. All right. Does this make sense? Is the chat working? Hopefully it is. Makes sense. All right. So number 2, 5-part formula is start with the problem. So as you can imagine, if you're starting with the solution, it's not as effective. But if you look at your homepage today, be honest with yourself. What is your homepage really in love with? Is it in love with your solution, your innovation, your breakthrough idea? Or is it in love with the problem that your customers have, because you know so much about it, and you're in love with helping them solve it, helping them get to a better place? So this is a really clear differentiator. You can just put yourself in one camp or the other with this question. So let me do some quick marketing myth busting here. Number 1, nobody cares about your why, or your company, or your solution, or your product. What do your customers really care about? Let's be honest, people. Let's be honest. Type in the comments here or the chat. What do your customers care about? What do they care about? Let's hear it. I'm going to type in comments here. Let's hear it. I'm just typing comments in. Let's hear it. What do your customers care about? I'll tell you. If you don't know, they care about their own problems and their goals, and that's what they care about. So promoting your solution doesn't result in selling it, and that's why so much money is being wasted in marketing. People believe in the things they themselves decide, not the things you tell them. So if on your website you have things like, we're the leader in this, or we're, it's the best solution for this. Like, who believes that? We're innovative, we're breakthrough, revolutionary. That language is language that nobody believes. So stop using that language. Just stop it. Like the next generation API platform, like, oh my God, nicely designed website. But why do I believe that? All right. You have to prove to me that this is the next generation platform by how much you know about the suffering that I have with the platform that I'm currently using. That will prove to me, won't prove to me just by saying it. Introducing Digis Reports. I have no idea what this is selling, but I'm not interested. So look, just a couple examples. You can't use that language. Just don't do it. Demoing your solution doesn't convince anyone of anything, and that is simply because you look at the stats. Gong.io published a report. Gartner's published a report. I think it's 2 out of 10 demos result in a sale. So don't tell me that we just have to, CEOs think their product is so great, we just have to demo it. No, it's not enough for people to change. They actually need to tie the benefits with the problems that they're experiencing and how it's going to solve that. So you shouldn't just show 101 features of your product, but only the 3 features that make the most difference to your customers. Number 4, your customers don't buy to obtain their goals. This is a shocker for a lot of people. It's a shocker because they think if you can just say, we help you achieve this, it's a better return on investment. It'll be better for you. But people and businesses don't change to obtain goals. Any really good strategic salesperson will tell you from their experience, they buy because their current situation is no longer tenable. They cannot no longer live with their current situation. That's why they buy. Myth number 5, don't ever ask a customer what their problem is. And I got this from Keenan, by the way, from the book Gap Selling, and it totally needs to be applied in marketing as well, because that should be something you're telling them and confirming that they have, if you really understand their problem because you have such a great innovation. So don't ask that. Tell them what you think their problems are because you understand their world, and confirm that. So if you can describe their problem better than they can describe it themselves, they will automatically believe you have the best solution instead of just saying how great your solution is. And this is proven. I can totally prove this with you, and truth is out there. You want to get a that's right in the process in your marketing. So as your people are going through your website, through your marketing material, through your sales presentations, that they are getting like, you understand me, you get our world, you get where we're at today, you get where we want to go. And that's in their minds. You're getting what Chris Voss says is tactical empathy. Huge thing to get. So this is an example of a before, bad, creating innovative workflow technologies. Doesn't mean anything, high reliability. After, before we get to the after, prospects did not buy. Like in their sales deck look like this. It's just horrible, and does not let salespeople have the right conversations. More of the slide. So afterwards, I'm just going to sneak peek. You can go to ReadyWorks Health website, but you can see this is a sales presentation where it's anchored. It's a choose your own adventure style that is anchored on outcomes. It's what the product does for organizations instead of what the product is. And that shift is massive. So this is really number 2, the second shift in the, you're going to hear from Jordan shortly here as well. Faster deals, 3 times deals. Shift number 2, which is start with the problem, not the solution. And that was some examples of this. So if this makes sense, hello, Brittany, who has joined as well. If this makes sense to you, diving right in, type in the comments, makes sense. Let me hear you. Does that make sense to you? All right. Does that make sense to start with the problem? Great. Thank you. All right. So let's get on to number 3. Gosh, I like in the background, we've got like the ink blots smashing together. The 5-part formula, number 3, use the secret weapon. So here's the secret weapon, folks. If you use it, we call this a magnetic messaging framework. And it's magnetic because it's attractive. It's attractive because you're attracting people who are already on the journey to make the change. And you're playing the role as an advisor, as a coach, a trusted partner that is helping them on that journey. And so you're messaging on your website and messaging in your sales deck and in the position that your salespeople are taking is a trusted advisor. So this is marketing that doesn't work anymore, and it doesn't work because there's so much market noise. People tune out when they hear innovation, revolutionary, breakthrough, and you're trying to push your solution, but they tune in when you're talking about why they should change, why they need to change right now, what's at risk for them for not fixing this problem today, and why they need to change in their particular business. So if you're answering these questions in your messaging around your homepage, your website, your sales deck, then you are magnetic. So the magnetic messaging framework has 3 parts. Yes, a 3-word revolution hashtag like just do it. A 2-page story framework that really steps through where they're at today, where they want to go, what's standing in their way of getting there. What are you offering that's going to help them make that change? What's the plan for them to get from where they are to where they want to go? And what's at risk for them? What are the stakes if they do not change? So that's a 2-page or 1-page framework. You also need a game over narrative. You need to, if you're selling an innovation, you're probably basically saying that the old way no longer works and that the new way is the way forward if you want to be successful. If you want to fail or let your company be belly up in 5 years, then play the old game. God bless you. But like that game over rebellious narrative is one that works because it drives urgency in the deals. So that kind of story, that narrative is going to inform every piece of content, every word on your website, every perspective you have in your sales conversations. It's going to call your customers to the change they already want. Your homepage is going to do that. It's going to be more of a home run for your customers, a home run because, gosh, if you're here, type in the comments. I'm getting a little sidetracked here with my ADD. Is anybody here? First of all, time out. If you're here, say I'm here. Cool, cool. All right, so your homepage needs to be a home run for your customer. So a home run with these 10 elements that we're going to show you in this webinar of the most highly converting websites. When I say website, I mean a homepage, because that is the site for your web. Look at your web logs. You'll see your homepage is your website. There may be SEO, long tail, people going to other pages, but they're always going to your homepage. That's the place. That's like the store entrance for your business. All right. So your sales presentation is also part of the magnetic messaging framework. Choose your own adventure discovery guide that uses all of the 12 conversations that facilitate collaboration. We're going to show you that in this masterclass. So I like to say the story is not marketing. It really is the company that you're creating, the people that you hire. It is really, it's an essential guide to building your business. It's not just putting lipstick on your solution. Very critical. So talking about lipstick, the old way, solution marketing was putting pretty lipstick on a 20-slide deck that was looking pretty with page numbers and white backgrounds, one slide with 8 bullets. But the new way of doing this through magnetic messaging is a choose your own adventure framework. So salespeople can go wherever they need based on a 3-part presentation, problem, solution, plan. And it's a guided discovery so that the salesperson in that experience will learn just as much about their organization as they will with your organization. It's a mutual experience, and you will learn, taking this approach, more about why they need to change and why they need to buy than you would if you were just presenting the old way. So I like to say designing conversations, not slides, because this is going to lead you to a much better place. For example, here's a great slide design that beckons or creates a conversation about the problem. Asking questions like, well, how do you really know what the satisfaction levels are, professional skills? I know you've got processes today, but how do you really know? So having like a question like this up front in your sales conversation really sets the stage for talking about the solution. But without talking about this first, you're gonna fall on deaf ears. You're not gonna develop the trust and the stage really to talk about a better way. So the recipe, if you will, of the sales deck, it has to happen in a certain order. We're going to show you what that order is in this masterclass. You want to turn your presentation into a collaboration, and this is an example of a goal slide asking about goals and confirming goals. So you don't just want to say, tell me what your goals are. You want to actually share what goals of your typical clients are to make sure and validate and confirm that your customers are experiencing those goals and they want to have those goals. You can also put in what their current world is like there on the right. because you want to have it conversational. So here I promised you the 12 conversations that I have learned from literally doing 3,000 plus sales presentations for different organizations, that these are the 12 conversations that you're going to want to consider having for large deals. Conversations about where they are today, where they want to go, what their problems are, how the world has changed and how that's impacting them. Why are you trusted? What is the thing that you're offering? What is the old way versus the new way? These are essential conversations that every change, corporate business change, requires. So you need to arm yourselves with slides that will let you have those conversations. The old way, you'd be talking about your company as the hero of the story. The new way, the helper of the hero. You see how that shift is? It's not about you being the best. It's about them. Your marketing, old way, expensive agencies, CMOs that are promoting, spending money on buzzwords and personas, but that doesn't get you where you need to go. You need to create a very clear picture of what their heroic journey is, their meaning your customer's heroic journey to overcome their fear of change and to become better. So look at Gong does, goodbye opinions, old world, bad. I mean, it doesn't work anymore. Making judgments about your sales organizations by opinions. New world, what is the reality? What does the data say? And so if you are a company that believes that, in this case, smart forms is the way to go versus checklists or versus the old way on pen and paper, then we can help you get to that goal. So you see what I did there? It's a contrast between the outcomes of the old way, the old world of approaching things versus the new way of approaching things. So the new way isn't your product. So many businesses get this wrong. Like, goodbye, painful thing. Hello, our product. No, it can't be your product. It has to be the thing, the outcome that your product creates that is the new way. All right, hope that's clear. You need to be calling out what they need to be stopped. Customers have to stop doing and what your customers need to start doing. And by the way, our product helps you if that's what you want to do. If you believe in cost-effective delivery is the way forward versus just delivering at any cost, then we can help you with that. So it's that essential singular narrative of what you need to stop, what you need to start. If this is making sense to you, type in the comments, makes sense. Okay, so this is an example of a homepage where these conversations actually show up on the homepage of what the problem is, what the change to what they already want to achieve, what the before and after story is, what's the plan, how much credibility you have, how can I achieve these goals without the hassle of what I think is needed. So there are elements of the conversation that really can be brought onto your homepage and website that are tied to this magnetic messaging framework. So every word on your homepage is written in a voice, but really, if you look at your website copy, emails are copy, search ads are copy, all this is copy. But what is the copy actually saying? Is it saying that we're the best, honestly, or is it saying we make you better? And this is the filter that you can look. It's the shift that you need to make for your messaging, your sales messaging, your marketing messaging to be magnetic in the framework that we're talking about. Has to be we make you better. If this makes sense, type in the comments, makes sense. And if you look at your website today and open up your sales deck, use this filter to see what are we saying here? And these are some examples of websites that just are horrible. Again, they're beautiful, they're pretty, they're nice to look at, but they don't do anything. They're just not clear what the benefit is, what the outcome is. Invisible, multi-factor authentication. Okay, that's nice. Why do I need that? A modern streaming data platform for developers. How do I know that it's modern? I haven't seen it. What's the modern to me? I have a belief of what a modern data platform is. Well, show me what is that? Don't just tell me. These are examples of really bad websites. This is an example actually of a good website. Very clear. Move the earth. Gosh, I love those 3 words. Transform any excavator into a trenching robot. Love that. So good, so simple, and they're selling a very sophisticated product. All right, I promised to share with you the 10 elements of the most highly converting websites. And I say website, I mean homepages, because that is your website. Look at your logs if you don't believe me. The first part has to be what they want. Second is what they're challenged with. Right underneath that, put your credibility. That can put the form of a social proof as well. What your solution is, what do you call it, how it works, what the stakes are if they don't make a change, they remain where they are today. What the social proof to verify you're making other people succeed and get through that crucible. What's your plan to help me as a customer get to be successful? And if I don't want to buy now or book a meeting with you or see a demo, what can I download in exchange of giving you my email that allows me to learn a lot more? And a call to action. And it shouldn't be a form like put in your name, put in your phone number and your email address. That is so 2021. The new way of doing this is actually to put like time slots right there on the homepage. So they don't have to click anywhere. They just select the time, 8 o'clock Tuesday morning, and that brings them to a page where one at a time, it's conversational marketing, as it were. They're answering a question, what their name is, what kind of work what kind of problem they're looking to solve. And so it's conversational, and you can create a bot that does that much better than forms. So those are the 10 steps there. So the call to action, by the way, the old way is like learn more, get started. And I can promise you those passive call to actions, which you may have on your site right now, do not work. Nobody wants to click on them because they're very vague. People do click on call to action on your homepage that is very specific about what they're going to get. Like, oh, impact assessment, I want that. Or I want to get expert recommendations. Like, that's what I want. I don't want to get started. Most of the time, get started means what does that even mean? Like, get started to do what? So I hope you get a sense of what this magnetic messaging framework is. It brings together all these ideas from these books that you have read but haven't implemented, but taking these filters and putting that on your marketing messaging, your sales messaging will turn things around for the better. All right. So if that makes sense, type in the comments, makes sense, if you're still here. And if it makes sense, type in the comments, makes sense. I got Brittany, Scott, Todd here as well. All right. So bad news, and sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but like I meet with CEOs all the time of startups, and I know a lot of them aren't going to make it. They're so charmed, so excited about their innovation, but their sales messaging is just upside down. And the reality is, some of you here are probably not going to make it. You'll make it. You won't die or anything, but your businesses aren't going to make it. I mean, 72% of SaaS companies fail by year 3. And I don't know if you're in SaaS, but often software is part of the solution you're offering. And it's just a harsh reality. If you don't do this right, a lot is on the line. So with Jeff Aronson, CEO of EquipX, really frustrated, confusing marketing content, pipelines thin, losing deals to no decision. And this was their website before, meant nothing to most of their customers. Download overview was very terrible call to action. Afterwards, actually 6x pipeline in 4 months, 3x the revenue, total confidence in marketing spend, and so grateful that the business vision is actually materializing. It's not just a dream, it's actually happening. And this is just a screenshot of their website, and it really speaks to this magnetic messaging of the thing that their customers already want to do and what they want to achieve and what they're trying to minimize. And the transformation story is right there too. Turn your underutilized equipment into an optimized health system. That is what their customers want to do. They want to transform like that. So here's an example of a typical AI. Like, I don't know if you have AI in your business today, but typical AI, human interaction. Like, what do we have here? Brains with computer chips. It's terrible. Terrible means nothing. This is the after. So the after focuses on what the outcomes are. The outcomes of this technology, this breakthrough technology, actually gives doctors superpowers, bringing emotional AI to patient encounters. So let me just go back a minute. Like, this says nothing except like we're doing some cool things with brains and computer chips. And I'm saying innovation and excellence, but no one believes me. And this is actually talking about the outcomes. Turn virtual patient checkups into deeply insightful interactions. So clear, so obvious at this point what the value is of this artificial intelligent product is. So just wanted to share that with you to just so you can see what using this secret weapon of this magnetic messaging platform does. If this makes sense, type in the comments "makes sense," and we'll unlock the fourth of the fifth piece, and we're tracking here almost on time. Number 4, you want to thank you. You want to sell the change. You don't want to sell your product. You want to sell the change and influence that change. So think about it. What are you really selling? You're selling a way for your customers to get from where they are today to where they want to go. That's what you're selling. You're influencing that change. Your solution is a dot along that. So you're really selling a movement. So if you stay focused on that in your sales presentations, in your proposals, you're going to be in a much better place. You can design your proposals to be about what their current problem is, what their future goals are, what's at stake if they don't make this change, and leave out any talk about your product or solution. Just put a cost associated with it, because that is what they're really buying. So I looked at this. Lose deals. The difference between losing deals and closing deals is collaboration. And that's indisputable. But how are you collaborating? You're collaborating by involving yourself in your customer's story of change. You need to take that position not as the hero of the story, not as Simba, but as Rafiki in the story. You are guiding the hero up the mountain to make that change. All right. If that makes sense to you, type in the comments "makes sense." I want you to get a ton of value from this marketing masterclass, marketing makeover masterclass. All right. So number 5, invest in expert help is the last one, as we're going to talk about. So this is something that all these CEOs do, and all the smart ones basically ask for people, experts outside their world, to help them see what should be on the outside of the bottle of medicine that they're selling, because they're so wrapped up in the solution inside their medicine bottle that they can't really articulate what it really should be on the outside. So it's hard to, admittedly, you're so excited about your innovation, it's hard to see what it should be. But working with an outsider that takes a sales approach to marketing will help you with that. And this outsider as well could help your team in aligning and sort of getting to this triangle of truth. So one team member that you really love and trust sees it from one perspective, and another team member sees it from a different perspective. But a Venn diagram begins to emerge of what the common story is that your customers are wildly attracted to, what they really want to achieve, what they're really trying to stop from happening, and what's standing in the way of them making that change. Your people and your brains, you have that insight, but an outsider is the best place to extract that from you. So I like to say, do not hire marketers who are just going to promote the hell out of your product and waste a lot of your money. Hire sales enablers that know how to start with the problem and focus the presentations and your website on conversations. So this is what you'll need to win. This is the 5-part formula. Lead a rebellion. Start with the problem. Use the secret weapon, which is this magnetic messaging framework. You want to sell the change. That's really what you're selling, not your solution. Sell that movement, and invest in expert help that will help you see things from the outside. All right. So this is what I promised. I promised you how to simplify your sales message, how to facilitate unforgettable sales presentations, how to stand out in a noisy market, even if you have fierce competition, how to get your prospects to own your proposal and product, how to attract ideal customers. That's what I promised. Now, you have a choice now. You can essentially stay where you are, or you can do this. You can actually get this done. You can stay in this sort of state of confusion, stuck in your marketing, or move to this place of clarity. that's going to do all sorts of things. Well, what would that do for your business if you could move to Clarity? Only you could answer that question. What would that do? And what would you be okay with nothing changes? I mean, you see what I did there. I'm basically calling you to say, like, are you okay if in a year from now you're in the exact same spot? And if you're not, this is what I have for you if you're here today. I have set aside 72 hours. In the next 72 hours, set aside 5 30-minute Zoom calls. I don't have unlimited time, especially with a 9-month-old baby in my house. I've set aside 5 30-minute Zoom calls where we'll get on the call together. We'll discover exactly what's wrong with your marketing. When I say marketing, let's open that up to your sales deck, the conversations that your sales teams are using, the sales messaging, going out in your emails. We're going to discuss what you can do about it and hopefully get a game plan and getting it done. This is absolutely free. Now, there is a catch. All right. There's the link, by the way, getsalesenabled.youcanbook.me. We'll talk about the catch in a second. It'll take you to a calendar link and a quick questionnaire so I can do my homework prior to talking with you. But here's the catch. It is absolutely free, but let me just advance to this. It's free, but you can't be a marketer. You need to be the owner of the business, because if you just say, hey, to your marketing, the marketing person that you're working with, I want to take this approach, they're going to say, I can do that. I can do that for you. But they didn't do it for you. They don't really know how. They've read the books, but they haven't really done it. So I guess what I'm saying to you is the catch is you need to be the CEO, owner of the business that is really interested in giving your marketing a fresh look to attract your ideal customers and grow your business. And I would say, don't book the call if you want to save your marketer's relationship. You just bring them along. You can book the call if you want to bring them along to this new world, but bring them along. You can certainly bring them along, but you need to be the CEO of the business that is really not afraid to make some changes with your marketing. So hopefully that's you, and if not, that's fine. Hopefully you got a value from this session. I want to just play here in this time something from
light years ahead of where we would have been had we just done it ourselves. Like, everyone on our team, has graphic design experience, has website experience. Like, we could have done something ourselves, but our resources were spread so thin. So that was the first thing, is that I think Pitch Kitchen really leapfrogged us to get us where we needed to be. Now we've got better.
So I'm going to fast forward on that.
Website is better new. We're doing 3-4 different things.
How do I move?
We're light years ahead.
Yeah. So here's Trish, by the way, Trish from Behavior Science Technology.
That what was cool about it is that when you're living everything day to day, so much gets lost when you're focused on just trying to make things happen and move forward. That it was a lovely way to even to kind of see what we built, and it was kind of almost like a little bit of a look back in where we've come. So I found that to be really rewarding. Very cool. I think that.
So anyway, love to chat with you if you want help. This is a game changer for your business. And I can say, I guess we're wrapping up here in a minute. If you have any questions, feel free to type it in the comments here. Why am I doing this? So, I have suffered so much through bad marketing myself, really being stifled by in selling. I really wasn't given the tools as a salesperson working for companies, the tools to have the right conversations for me to be successful. And I'm so motivated to help CEOs and their salespeople to adopt this approach so that they can also be wildly successful. And I think if you combine all my experience in selling and my experience in design, having graduated from Cooper Union School of Design in New York and my career in design, the confluence of these skills really put me in a rare camp of, they sort of fused to make me, I'd say, one of the few people in the United States that really know how to do this for companies that are at the 5 to I'd say $5 to $50 million range, but they want to get to the next level. This is really something where I know exactly what to do to help CEOs do this. So that's why I'm doing it. I'm motivated to do it, to apply what I've learned to help other companies win. So if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, we're going to wrap up here in a minute. I want to thank you. Thank you so much for coming to this event. And I really hope that you got value from this. And let me know if we can help. Thanks again. And signing out from the metaverse.